Reading number 6. At first, it seems odd to call someone a rock. People even joke about being dumb as a rock. But the Bible is clear when it says Jesus is our rock. He is our foundation for which we can build our lives. Psalm 62, verse 2. Truly, he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. In the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 7, Jesus gives the famous Sermon on the Mount, where he talked about the kingdom of heaven. Jesus explained that loving God above all else and others as ourselves was what God really wanted from us, more than following strict rules. And then, beginning with verse 24, Jesus says, "Everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built a house upon the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house upon the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it." So be wise. Don't be dumb as a rock. Here is verse 3 from Psalm number 40. "He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings." Think about how great that feeling is. I don't know how much miry clay we have around here, but we have some pretty soggy mud and lots of sinking sand. To be lifted from that and set on a firm foundation is quite a relief, like a rescue. Being saved. Depending on the version of the Bible, there are over 20 references to Jesus as our rock in the book of Psalms. There are numerous Lord and Jesus is my rock references throughout the Bible. Verse 2 of Isaiah chapter 32. "And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land." Here the rock is a shield, shadow from intense heat, or a barricade from a fierce wind. Building on this great foundation, we have extra protection in our life. Isaiah also says, "as rivers of water." This is echoed in Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, verse 4 of chapter 10. "And drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that accompanied them, and that rock was Christ." I could go on from verse to verse, but this is Music Sunday. Here is the choir with "He is the Rock."